it is written over here what? A rising edge. On an event of rising edge, this particular flip-flop get operated. Okay, I will discuss with you in detail. This particular flip-flop value will get changed, okay, only when we have a rising edge encountered over here. Okay, but these particular values Q1, Q2, Q3 values will get changed for a falling edge of a clock pulse. Okay, so for this particular flip-flop, this particular clock cycle will work for this particular flip-flop. This is the clock cycle which basically operate on. Okay, and similarly for getting output from this particular clock cycle, we have this particular flip-flop, we have this particular clock cycle operator. Okay. So basically we have what in up counter, we have a values starting from 0 0 0 to up to what 0 0 1, and then what 0 0 1 0, then we have 0 0 1 1, and so on. Okay, so you can see we have what 0 0 0 over here, 0 0 0 1, 0 0 1 0, 0 1 1 up to 1 1 1. Okay, so we have what up counter. Okay, that is started from all the way from 0 0 0 to 1 1 1. Okay, so this type of functionality, if I want to implement in VHDL, then how can we do it? Okay, so if I want to use a JK flip-flop, so you know, so this is the basically a schematic of asynchronous up counter for a JK flip-flop. Okay. So you can see over here we have what? We have VDD present over here in this circuitry. Okay, and we know in JK flip-flop, whenever the value 1 1 arrives, okay, it will alter the change, it will alter the state of a flip-flop. Okay, if we have presently the value 1 present over here, okay, so after 1 1 arrives, it will make it to 0. Again, if 1 1 arrives, it will make it from 0 to 1, and again if 1 1 arrives, it will make it to 0. So 0 1 0 1, it will alternately move. Okay, so basically it alters the state of a flip-flop, okay, whenever the value 1 1 is arrived. So by default, what I have written over here, so basically what I have written over here, I have by default provided over here the values 1 1. Okay, and then I have applied over here one clock. So on an event of this particular clock, the value is generated over here. Okay, and then this particular value is now acting as a clock for next flip-flop. Okay, this particular value of Q is now acting as a clock. Okay, so again whatever the value we have got over here, we have get the value changed according to the this particular clock cycle. So this way you can see here we have what a clock of specific frequency. Now we have what a clock of some specific frequency over here. Okay, and again we have what the output of this particular flip-flop is acting as a clock for this particular flip-flop. So we have again a clock of different frequency present over here, and next we have again a different sort of frequency. So by this way we can simply implement a counter. Okay, so again we have to create a structural type of modeling style. Okay, so again we want to create what a structural modeling style. So how do we can do it? Simply what I can do, I can write a code for JK flip-flop and saved it on a one file. Okay, then in a counter I will call that particular JK flip-flop file 4 number of times. Okay, I can simply call this particular JK flip-flop file 4 number of times, okay, to implement the complete functionality of a counter. Okay, so what we require most is what so if we know the circuit of a counter, okay, and the circuit is of counter can be derived by making use of what transition of a input and output values. Okay, and based on that we can derive any digital circuitry. So I have created, suppose I have this particular circuit, and it is showing what up counter by making use of JK flip flop. So what simply I can do for the implementation in VHDL, I can simply create a code for JK flip flop and then call 4 number of times this particular flip flop, and I will use this particular intermediate signaling for driving a clock. Okay, and by default I will create a value of J and K as a 1, okay, to make a count. So you can see I have written a code over here. So it is nothing but a JK flip flop. So in JK flip flop, you can see I have include all the libraries over here. Okay, I have different set of libraries present over here. Next, what I have defined, JK flip flop, JKFF as an entity. So uh, we have the name of entity as JK flip flop, and in that particular JK flip flop, you can see we have what J, K, and clock as what input, Q and QR as a output. So I have simply defined what J, K as a clock as an input of a flip flop, and reset and Q. Okay, and Q is what an output of a clock, and I have also used a reset function. Okay, so in this particular flip flop, we haven't got any reset function over here. So uh, uh, in a typical example, you have seen the port over here representing what a reset value. Okay, so whenever the value, basically it is what a negatively edged value. Okay, so whenever we have a value 0 present for a reset, then this value, this particular flip flop states will get clear, and it will uh, make it to a initial state. So in a typical flip flop, we have what 5 ports present, and one more present port is also present, which is called as preset. Okay, so it is not very much important. So we have what J, K, and clock as input, Q as a output, and reset as a, again a input port. Okay, so if want to uh, I want to reset to a 0 or initial state, I simply press giving a specific input over here. So it is mentioning over here JK clock and reset as an input port and Q as an output port. I haven't defined over here Q bar because we do not require the Q bar functionality in subsequent stages. Okay, so as you can see, we haven't get any value of Q bar over here. Okay, so simply I have a Q over here. Next, I am creating a architecture for a JK flip flop. So you can see first what I have done, I have created a variable as JK. So you don't confuse with this particular JK. This JK is representing what? This is an independent variable J, and this is an independent variable K. And here it is combined JK. Okay. So I have created the variable JK, and I have written over here what? Standard logic vector. So I have created a vector. Okay, so I have created a vector, so you can also see over here, and 1 down to 0. So the elements, the number of elements this JK is carrying is what? 2 number of elements it can carry. Okay, because 1 down to 0, it simply means it is having what? 2 number of elements. We have all discussed this thing in detail. We have 1 down to and 0 down to particular value, 0 down to 2 or 3. So 0, 1, 2, it can count up to 3 values. Similarly here is what 1 down to, so it can count up to 1 and 0. So this is what, this is value 1, this is value 0. So it is an index value. Okay, so whenever we call JK1, it will return the value at this particular position 1. Similarly, if I call what value JK 0, it will return a value at this particular position. Okay, so it is nothing but a indexing. So we have defined a variable JK over here, and I have created a vector of 2 elements. So 0 and 0 I have instantiated, or uh, I have assigned the value 0, 0 to this particular JK signal. Okay. Next, what I have defined, I have defined another variable Q signal, QSIG. Okay, and I have defined the value to a 0. Next, I have written over here what begin. After a begin statement, we have what J and K. So you have a different set of. So you can see over here we have what this particular operator which we haven't used right now. So we have this particular operator and we call that particular operator as a what a concatenation operator. So for inclusion of this particular concatenation operator, we have defined this particular library over here, which is arith all. Okay. So whatever the different set of different set of operators we have it in this library carrying all the operators. So we have what jk is equal to j and k. So it is nothing but the value of j k. Okay. So here we have defined the value jk. Okay, and I am simply assigning the value of j and k to this particular jk. Okay, I am hoping you all understood what I am trying to write. So it is nothing but j and k. Okay, so suppose at an instant the value of j is 0 and k is 0. So j and k is now combining toward 0 0. Similarly, suppose j is 1 and k is 0. So j and k is what 1 0. Okay, it is assigning this particular value to this particular jk value. Next, what I have written, I have created a process, and in that process I have written a reset and then clock. Okay. So you can see with a begin statement I have written if reset value is 1, okay, then q signal value is what 0. So you can see I have created a negatively edge, but it is mentioning that it is a positively edge. So whenever the value of reset is 1, the value of q signal value will be 0. Okay. So I have simply created q signal value 0 when we have a reset one clicking. Next, what else if okay whenever we have a rising edge of a clock and clock value of 1, then okay for we have a different case I have written over here. When 0 0, then q signal is equals to q signal. When 0 1, then q signal equals to 0. It is a reset condition. When what whenever 1 0, then we have got 1, it is a set condition. And when others, that means for 1 1, we have q signal which is equals to q bar. Okay, so for q bar I have written not q signal. Then I have written case and if, and then end process, and whatever the value of q signal at a final I have assigned it to q. And next what end behavior. I hope it is clear to all of you. The function of JK flip-flop is clear to all of you. It is very much similar to a D flip-flop which we have already discussed. Okay, but here what we have done, we have created a reset. We have defined a value for J and K both. Okay, so that's why I have written that many number of steps over here. Okay, for for creation of a behavioral type of modeling style where we have a fixed set of input, and based on that particular fixed set of input we have a specifically defined values at the output. Okay, so simply what I have done, I have j and k values. Okay, so I have combining the value j and k as a whole to create a vector of jk which we have already defined over here. And then based on these particular values or I have called I have created this particular set of statements, okay, for 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. Okay. Is it clear to all of you? Is it clear to all of you? If you have any doubt, please let me know. If you have any doubt, please let me know. Is it clear to all of you? Okay, next what I am doing, since here I have only defined the value of a JK flip-flop. I have created a functionality of, I have replicated the functionality of JK flip-flop. Now with the structural modeling, I am using this JK flip-flop for creation of counter. Okay, so You can see over here, this is again a library segment, okay, and then I have uh, defined the name of entity as what, JKC, okay. So I have defined the name of entity as what, JKC, okay, and then clock and reset as a input port, okay, and then C out as a output. So you can see over here we have what, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually we want 4 values, that's why I have created a vector of 4 over here, okay, at the counter. Now you can see here at the architecture, the name of architecture is again what, behave, BEHV of JKC, okay. So the same name of entity which I have defined over here, I have called it. Next what, I have called a function JK flip flop over here, okay, which I have previously created and saved in a separate file. So whatever the values of port I have defined over here, the same port value I have copied over here. Okay, so you can see we have cop, reset, J, K, and Q values. Okay, we have all the ports which I have defined previously is now saved it over. Okay, so simply I have defined a function. Okay, I have called a function over here which I have defined previously in a this particular flip flop. Then what I am doing, I am creating an intermediate variable. Okay, so we have got this particular type of q values over here, okay, and this q value is acting as a clock for this particular flip flop. So this particular flip flop, the values of this particular flip flop is derived by making use of this q. Okay, so simply what I am doing, I am saving the value of this q in a some specific temporary variable. Okay, so again I am creating what over here, I am creating a temporary variable temp, okay, and again it is what, 1 2 3 4. So again we are making it as a vector of 4 elements, okay, for supporting of this particular temporary signal, and I am instantiated with the 0 values. Okay, so you can see we have make all the values 0. Now this is a actual actual counter definition. After the begin statement, you can see at a first level, at a zeroth level we have what, D0, okay, at a zeroth level we have what, JK flip flop, and then I have mapped the port of this particular JK flip flop with the values of our requirement. So we know in JK flip flop, okay, for a up counter we require what, the value of J and K to be what, 1. Okay, so I have simply written over here J value 1 and K value to be 1, and then we have what, the reset value is assigned with a reset signal. Okay, so whenever we have a reset value given, then only it will work, otherwise it will not work. Okay, and then we have what, again the clock cycle is assigned with a clock signal. So we have a clock signal over here, and again we have a similar clock signal assigned it over here. Okay, so this clock and this clock is both same. Okay, so that's why it is simply written over here. So the clock port of this JK flip flop is now assigned to a clock port of this particular circuit. Again the reset port of this flip flop is assigned to a reset value of this particular circuit. Similarly, the J and K value is assigned to J and K value is assigned to 1, and then we have what, Q1. Okay, so the value of Q is assigned to temp3. Okay, so you can see we have what, 3 down to 0. So we have what, the value of 3 is 3 2 1 and 0. So we have what, 0 1 2 3. Okay, so temp3 I have assigned it over here. Next what, the this value is now acting as a clock for next flip flop. So in the clock of this particular flip flop, I am simply calling the value of temp3 which I have mentioned over here. Okay, so you can see clock is now assigned to a value temp3, and again j and k value is assigned to 1, and then again the value of q is what, temp value 2. Okay, and then this temp 2 value is now acting as what, a clock for this particular flip flop. So you can see in this particular clock we have what, temp 2, and the q value is assigned to temp 1, which is now acting as a clock for I have written it over here wrong. I have to written over here what, temp 1. Okay, so we have what, by mistake I have written over here temp 0, so you make it correct. Okay, it should be what, temp 1. It should be temp 1. It should be temp 1. Okay, then again what, j value, k value 1, and this is what, final value q is what, temp 0. So this is the structural modeling of a asynchronous up counter. Okay, so you can see whatever we write in our notebooks. Okay, the similar way we can write a code for the jk flip flop of a up counter. Okay, by making use of jk flip flop or any flip flop. So now we are going to implement this particular thing in a model cell. Okay, so let me open my model cell. So you can see I have already created a file for jk flip flop and counter. So you can see here in this particular jk flip flop, it is the same code which I have shown it to you in my presentation. It is all the same. Okay, and then I have called this particular jk flip flop the name of entity. Okay, jk flip flop in this particular counter. Okay, so okay, so you can see we have written over here temp 1. By mistake in the presentation I have written over here temp 0 clock over here. Okay, so you can see this is the code for what. So we can see what I can do. This is a library function. Again, I have created an entity as jkc. Okay, so jk counter. Okay, and then clock, reset, and count is the input and output ports. Okay. Next, what we have over here, we have a architecture and the behavioral type of modeling style I am implementing. Okay, so rather than behavioral, or you can write it over here structural. Better you can, so that you can easily understand it. In flow I have written BEHV, but you have to write over here structural. Okay, of JKC. Okay, it doesn't matter because it is only for the identification of modeling style. It does not have any impact on programming aspect. Okay, so and then we have called what, the JK flip flop function, and you can see over here the ports of JK flip flop is the similar which we have defined over here in the functionality of JK flip flop. Okay, so we have JK, clock, reset, and Q, and all the ports I have called it over here. So JK, Q, clock, and reset. The order doesn't matter because it is a congruent modeling style. Next, what I have created an intermediate signaling or intermediate variable named temporary, and I have created it as a vector of 4 and instantiated with a value 0, 0, 0, 0. And next, what I have done over here, I have called a function in level 1. Let me. Is it clear to all of you, or I will write in a similar way, which I have represented you in a previous coding. Okay, so you can see here we have a first level. Okay, we have what, we have a very first level. Okay, so I am calling this particular function. Okay, I am calling this particular function. So with D not JK flip flop. So I am mapping the port of D flip flop with what? Reset with reset, clock with clock, and then they have created a value of J as a 1 and K as 1, and then Q what? Temp. Similarly, what? In the second level we have what? D1, and then we have what? Again JK flip flop, and I am port mapping the values at what? Reset with the reset values, and clock with the tab 3, J and K as 1, and Q with tab 2. Similarly, the clock of third level, which is having a label of D2, is now changing with a clock of temp 2, and it is having a Q value of temp 1. Similarly, at the final port, we have clock is changing with a temp 1, and then we have got Q with temp 0. So now, after assigning these particular values, okay, after assigning these particular values or calling these particular function, what I am doing, I am creating a 4-bit values, okay, that I can represent by making use of signaling. So count 3 value is now represented as temp 0, count 2 value is represented as temp 1, count 1 value is represented as 2, and count 0 value is represented as temp 3. Okay, so you can see we have created the values over here. Okay, now let me compile and then I will run this particular. So we have what? This is compile all. So you can see we have 2 compiles and 0 failed with errors. And now with the library, we have what? JK counter. So I am double clicking on that to get a simulation to run. Okay. So we have what? JKC. Now you can see over here all the variables present. And now what I am doing? I am clicking on what? Add, and then all items in one region. So you can see I have what? Clock reset and count, and we have what? 3210. So this is the actual way which I am trying to look for. So this is a reset value and this is a clock. So on an event of clock, okay, on the event of clock, all these value will get changed. So let me uh, change the value of clock. So after right click on the clock, you can see over here this clock button. So you just click on that clock button, and here you can see we have what? A period of 100, and we have a duty cycle of 50. Okay, so we have what? 0, 100 and 200 nanoseconds. Okay, so we have a what? This particular block is representing 100 nanoseconds. So in that 100 nanosecond we have a duty cycle of 50. So we get what? 50. We have a square type of pulse over here. Okay, so I am clicking on OK, and the first edge is what? Rising. So you can see, since I haven't assigned any value to reset, that's why it is showing in red. Okay, because it is not of our use, or I am simply removing from my circuit. Okay, so that won't interrupt us. So you can see over here what? In clock, so this is a rising edge and this is a falling edge, and again this is a rising edge. So with the rising edge we have what? J, K values for all the 3 counters. 0, 0, 0, 1 is having some values. Again, if I'm making the, so you do not need to assign the value of clock manually if you have assigned in this particular manner. Okay? If you are assigned in this particular manner, you do not need to assign it manually every time. So you simply, I am clicking on run. So you can see it is giving me a waveform for a counter. So you can simply understand what it is showing. Okay, it is all the same waveform which we get in our notebooks. Okay, Now, I guess it is clear to all of